Alright guys, I got another video for you. This one should be a lot of fun, but I'm going to have to do a lot of explaining. This is something I came up with. It's an octopus. There's lots of guys who've been building octopus and forging octopus. They're pretty neat, and when they're done, they look really cool. I have a couple different styles I'm going to show you. The one is this one piece. Okay, and I'll get you the measurements are here, but this is a one-piece octopus. The only trick with this one is this is what it'll make. And it comes out really cool, but as you notice, there's only 4 tentacles. Now in some of the things you do, that'll work out just fine. But I wanted to make one that had 8. So we came up with the patterns and played around with the clay. And this is what we came up with. This one has 8. And also it's used as a handle, which I thought was just way cool. That was my goal when I started trying to figure out what to do. But that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you and explain how we got this whole piece to be the handle and the octopus. He has 8 tentacles. This tentacle comes up, makes the curl so that it can hang him. And this one ended up being it's a spatula. I'm going to make a whole cook set that has these octopus handles. And it's pretty cool. Okay, so first things first is an octopus. Okay, octopus, the key details we have to look for before this is going to look like a octopus. Okay, octopus, their eyes are real funny. They have funny looking eyes. They're placed in a certain place. If they're up kind of in the front. If you put them way off to the side, he's going to look real odd. Okay, just realize that they have more of a predator's eye. They're up in the front. The tentacles, an octopus has 8. It's in its name, octo. Okay, he has 8. That was my goal, was to get one that had 8 tentacles instead of having just a 4. I have several wall hooks. I'll show you where it has 4. It looks good. Most people don't even really notice until they, but there's always someone who'll notice. Always someone will be like, it only has 4 tentacles. Okay, so so 8 tentacles. The bubble head, this body, the whole thing of it, the bubble head and the body shape. An octopus is an ugly looking snot ball of stuff, but he has this definite head that we're going to talk about on this, because I found some ways to change this. If you look at these ones right here, I'll have Mary come in. You look at these are definitely made out of square bar, the heads. And you can round these tops as much as you'd like and make it into a ball and fuller it some more and really make this round. But what we're going to do on these ones is the same technique. So if you imagine this one, and if you have made a skull, I don't know if you have or not, but there's a technique to make these skulls, right? You can see how much more mass and material is back here. This is a skeleton key I made as a project. It's really fun, but the skull is what I'm looking at. So if you see where I'm going with that, these are how we're going to build the ones so that we have more mass to make this bubble head of an octopus. So we'll explain how that's done, and so you can, just so we have a little more head on here, this big old bubble. Okay, these are pretty cool, pretty fun processes. So to start out with, I'll have Mary come in and we'll show you the measurements, because the measurements for these are they're not that big a deal, but we'll come in, and actually we'll come in and I'll just have her pause where you can read it real well. That way you can stop the video if you want these measurements of these 1/2 by 1/2. What we're using is 1/2 by 1/2 solid square stock. Okay, your first one, if you're making the handle, is 9.5 inches. And what that is the bottom, it's 4 tentacles and the mass to make whatever you want down here. You see how that is? The other one right here is 4 3/4 That is the top. That is the octopus and 4 tentacles from the top. So this piece is going to make, basically, this octopus is going to come out of that piece. Now, as we just told you, that the skull, right, to make this skull in the back of his head, you need to take this piece. If you're going to make this bigger bubble, you need to add 1 inch right here, so that you have that extra inch of material to fold over to make that bubble head. So that's the only difference you'll need to do. These ones I've already done it. So what you'll be doing is you're going to build that octopus out of here. You got 4 tentacles out of here. You'll have those 2 pieces, and then they'll slide together. And this is one of the only projects so far, I think it's my first one, where we have a little welding that you're going to do, because these tentacles right here where they come together, so you got the bottom 4 and the top 4. Now you're going to make them so that the bottom 4 slide in between the top. See, these 2 are the top. These 2 in the middles is the bottoms. So they came together. I mean, it's pretty simple, but they came together and they meet in the middle like that. Once they're that way, you're going to weld the legs around right here and clean that up so that you have all 8 tentacles. And now there's some neat things you can do that I'll show you as we forge one. A lot of this I'm going to explain here. A lot of you guys can go right from here and you're going to be fine. You're going to be like, all right, I got it. I'm good. I see what you did. Put them together, welded them. That'll be good. We are going to build one and we'll show you also. So I'm going to do a lot of explaining here first. So you got your bottom 4 tentacles coming up, right? You got your top going down. Now, your top ones off of the octopus need to taper from the octopus to the end. They need to get skinnier, right? This way. The ones coming off your handle for your bottom mass need to taper in reverse. They need to taper this way. The bottom needs to be skinny. You need to leave some mass on the top. This tentacle is going to go up and connect right into there. Just kind of as a heads up. So you want this, as you forge these out and draw them out, you want them to be this same way. So you're going to be skinny down here, tapered and fatter up to the top. So your tentacles all kind of match. So that's just a pointer. And then you can, as you get in here and you get going, you can look at these ones. This is where you need to plan ahead. Turn that imagination on and really look at it. This top tentacle will follow it down, right? It goes to here, makes a curl. This is a top tentacle here. Goes around, comes up. I wanted a hook to hang it on. This is one of the other top tentacles. You'll notice it curves around, goes up, curves around. This tentacle is probably 1 inch longer than these other ones. I stretched it even farther than the others because I knew I'm going to bring it up and make a hook. I need the material up here. These other ones are much fatter, but you don't hardly notice it. Also, if you'll notice, the one tentacle right here, it goes back, actually goes out in front and then comes behind. It's this front tentacle, goes inside and back. Now, if you want to do a lot in here, like say I wanted to, this one right here, see how it bulges out? I could actually put a full loop in there, a full curl in there. But I have to do it before I connect it. So I can take this bottom one, right, as I'm building it. I could take this tentacle and reverse taper it. So this is fat, this is skinny, but I could make it longer than the other ones. This is where your imagination can come in. You can get some cool details. That way, when it's here, before it's attached here, you could actually twist it. See how this one's twisted? I put a twist in it. But I had to do that, of course, before I attached it here, which was kind of fun. One of these I'd like to lengthen this way out before I attach it. Now I want to make a curl in here, almost like a ram's horn, like a curl. A full curl down here, and then have it come up and then attach it. It will take you some time, and it'll take you some figuring. You're going to sit and fiddle with all these until they about come apart. So just having built quite a few, play with it, get it close, and check it, because you can spend a massive amount of time trying to get all these tentacles where you think they should be. A couple swirls, a couple is going to be good. It makes a decent handle. It really does. It's comfortable to hold on to. Remember, it's a handle. Watch where your ends are. Tuck them in a little. That way it's a decent handle. You don't want it to catch on anything. This step down here is all done with the fullers under a power hammer. Okay, it's not you can stretch to whatever you want on the end. Okay, down here you can add detail. This is still your tentacles, right? This is this bar right there. You can add right here, you can fuller down and make these pointed, put a little curl on here. You could even cut into this and make a little curl right there as the end of the tentacle. What I am showing you, and I had some guys comment about it, and I really enjoyed the comment, is that I'm showing you the process. Once you understand the process of taking these two, getting your parts cut, and building your octopus and his other set of legs and sliding them together, and now having enough mass to build it into your handle, into your coal fire rake, whatever you want to do, fire poker. It's just an 8-legged, 8 tentacles octopus handle. Once you understand this process, well, you can make it perfect. That's it. I don't care how ugly it is. You can go now from here and do anything you want. You can stretch these legs and get a full curl hidden in there and then weld it on and clean it up. That's the magic of blacksmithing. If you can get that curl in there before it's welded, somebody will look at that on here and they'll go, how in the crap, how did you do that? That's what you want. That's what I wanted. I want someone to look at that and go, how do you get 8 pieces out of that? How did you get 8? They're going to sit and look at it and study it. They're going to be like, oh, wow, you got, that hook isn't on his head. That's one of the tentacles. They'll see this twist, and some people won't see it. It won't matter. You'll see it. So put that imagination in it. Put that magic in it. Do something to it. That's my only suggestion to you, is do something to it. Stretch one of these out. Put a full curl there. Take it inside. Wrap it where it shouldn't be able to go if this was solid. But you can do it before you put these together. That makes it the magic to it. And as you can see, this head is a little bit smaller than what I'd like. Because if you look at the size of that head, then you look at this skull, knowing they're made out of the same bar, I could put a lot bigger, we'll call it a bulb, right here. And that's one of the looks that I do want. So, hopefully that made some sense. I think we've got all our measurements. You're on here. The legs you're going to be cutting. Let's go over that just real quick. So the octopus itself is, you got 3.5 inches. Then you have 1.25 inches. That will get you this octopus right here. 4 legs and the head. This one. If you want to make the bulb on it a lot bigger, like the skeleton skull, you just need to add 1 inch to the 1.25 inches, so 2.25. And these are not that critical. Every octopus looks different. None of them are the same. Make them different. If you cut the legs in all 4 sides and it's 4 inches or 5 inches, you're just going to have longer tentacles. If you cut it shorter and stretch them way out skinny, that's fine. If the head has 4 inches and you fold it over and make this huge elongated teardrop, octopuses look like that. They're weird. They're like an alien. It won't matter. This will just get you a good starting point to build this octopus. Okay, so that's the bottom. That's the octopus. That's going to make that one. This is your bottom bar. That's going to make your 4 tentacles. Guess I have it that way. 4 tentacles. And this 6 inches is this mass here to build into whatever you want. If it's a handle for something, if it's a coal rake, this is just that mass here to keep going into wherever. You can adjust this to whatever you're building, whatever you're going to attach this handle onto. That 6 inches gave me all of this, which was plenty for, that's where that split is. It was plenty to do all this. This is nice and heavy. It's probably close to 3/8 thick. Plenty to have down here to rivet onto a ladle or anything you're doing. And like I said, this is a lot of information, but I'm just trying to get you your imagination going, show you the process, and cut you loose. So, let me see where we're at. I think we're good. The only thing I'm going to show you real quick is how to get that bigger bulb on there. If you haven't built the skull or anything like that, what this is, just to explain it so you can see it real quick, is you're going to take this extra, you're going to add an inch here if you want to. So you add that inch to your length. This gets hammered and forwards and fullered over and bent over until it touches on the back. Then you hammer it, put it on your anvil, you hammer different ways. Now you're going to fuller down here. Now you see how I got that mass? That's going to make a good octopus head. This is going to clean up a lot better than this. But you get the point of, that's where I'm going to get that material to make this octopus's head look more like this skull, have that bigger bulb on it. So that's all you're doing. If you like that, add your inch here, fold it over, get started. Hit the clay if you have any thoughts about it. Hit the clay and figure out how you're going to hold it, where you're going to punch your eyes, what tools you want to use. You can do that all out of clay before you go to get your pieces. So the first thing you're going to do is take your bars, 1/2 by 1/2 solid square stock. You got one that's 9.5 inches, one that's 4 3/4, unless you're going to add for the bulb, then it will be 5 3/4. Mark it off at your 3.5 inches, and you're going to cut down the middle as best you can, all the way up to 3.5 inches. That's going to give you 4 pieces in here. On your larger one, your 3.5 inches, cut it down the middle from all 4 sides so that you have 4 pieces. And then now we'll be able to take these 2 pieces. This one I have added the extra inch so that I can put the bulb, more bulb to the head. You got those, you got your pieces. We'll take these, and some of you will cut you loose. You're good. You can go make your pieces. And I think you got the whole idea of it. But we're going to go now. We'll go to the forge. We'll heat these up. We're going to spread these legs out. We're really going to fuller the bottom. I've had a lot of guys tell me, even on the turtles and different projects, that they broke one of the legs off. The leg broke off. There's a couple of things that can be going on that I stress a lot. One is it might be too cold when you're bending it. But the other is you're probably creating a cold shunt. When I've cut down to this and stopped right here, I'm going to open that with a hot chisel, and it's going to still have a point, right? So the bottom of this is going to be a point. If I try and spread these two apart, this is really easily focused enough it's going to crack instead of stretch. That's why I stress when you get to the bottom of these, you get open in this, take a round fuller. Round. Drive that in there so that it's rounded. I will show you when I'm at the forge. It's probably an 1/8 inch or bigger round fuller that I'm going to drive into the bottom and get rid of this sharp end right here and make it round, bellied in the bottom. If it's like that, then it will, most likely it will stretch a lot better without tearing through here. So that's why I fuller those bottom lines heavy. Get them round. Don't leave a sharp edge. Think of it, if you guys are fat kids like me, think of it as a bag of chips, right? If you got that chip and you can't open the stupid thing, but if there's a little nick in the bag, you can do what? Grab both sides and it tears real easy, correct? This is the same process. If it was a round, it wouldn't do as good. If it's sharp, it's going to go and tear real easy. So round those out and it will help as you're stretching, your part won't come apart. So I think that's it. I've described enough of it. Hope you enjoy it. If you go from here, cut your pieces. You can stop it here, cut your pieces, and we'll meet you at the forge. So turn your imagination on. Let's go build an octopus handle. All right, guys, so now we're at the forge. I know the beginning was quite long. It's another day, but we're back at it. There's some steps we're going to do. Now, to cut these pieces on the tentacles, I used a porta-band like this one. This is what I got, and I clamped it, was able to cut down the center of those to get those for the tentacles. I have chiseled them before under the treadle hammer and chiseled them until they were all loose and then cut down. Just takes a little bit longer. You could use like a skinny wheel, 16th inch skinny wheel. I wouldn't suggest it just because the stupid things are dangerous, but you could. You're going to have to just kind of use whatever you got. You could just use a hacksaw, but you're going to want to find some way to fairly accurately cut all of those so that you have your 4 pieces. You're going to have to just use what you got. Okay, so now that we're at the forge, the first thing we're going to be doing is, we know that we're going to fold this one over. And I know just from doing these, that's the step I want to do first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to heat this up and we're going to make that fold like the skull. So we're going to take this inch, fold it over. We're going to get that prepped and then we're going to stop there. I'll probably fuller in one line and then we'll work on the tentacles. You're going to have to learn your steps and you're going to have to probably play with it in the clay so that you know the process, the steps. Otherwise, you'll get to where all of a sudden you can't hold it in the vise and you're trying to build part of it, but there's no way to hold it because you finished the head or you finished the tentacles. Now how are you going to hold it? But we'll show you a couple of steps. So let's heat this up. Let's start bending this up. Okay, so I got a way to cheat on mine. I'm going to go in here, real close, start my bend. So I just get my bend started in there. I'm going to go for another heat. Now we're going to be able to work this later too, so I just want to get it started so that I have that material so that we're ready later. So you can clean this up all you want, but you're going to have some time later. We just want to get that started because we're still going to go up here. We got to get all the legs, so don't do too much because we're going to go to the legs, get the tentacles, and we'll go back after the tentacles and really work on the head. Okay, so we're going to be putting our part in and spreading all the tentacles. This is my hot cut I use to get in the spread. It's fairly sharp, not real sharp, but fairly sharp. This is the fuller I was talking about. See how it's rounded? That's what I'm going to drive in there to bottom it out. But I'm also going to be using a bigger one. Once I get it started, I'll be using this bigger one. But you can see how it's round. That's going to allow us to spread the tentacles without tearing them off. So this is the side with the head. You want to get in there, get it started, but we lost our heat already, so back into the forge. I'm using a gas forge because these tentacles and stuff, it needs a lot of room. Make sure you bottom it out. Get that thing rounded in there. Even on the outside, come in and make it round. Now I'm going to tap these in a little just because I'm getting tight in my gas forge. They'll spread out once I get back over here. Once you got these, well, you got the bottom fullered, remember, you're taking 4 and putting them in together. So you need that space in the bottom of the, especially the side with the head. You need this space right here in between for the other leg to come in and fit. Okay, so I put this fuller in right here. Now what that allows me to do now is actually to hold it with these tongs. These are kind of oddball. You'll have to use what you got. These are 3/8 rivet tongs that I bent to a 90. So I folded them this way, but what they does is allows me to grab a fuller like that, a line, and be able to hold it. Because now I'm going to fold these legs back except for one, and I'm going to forge that leg. Okay, when it's done or where I want it, I'll fold it back, I'll bring another one out and I'll forge that one. But this allows me to get a good grip on that Octopus, even though we're still going to put another fuller in here, and then the eyeballs, and still play with the head. It'll allow me to hold it from this side and from the leg side. These are reverse tapered. This side is skinny. This side's going to be fat. Keep working your way up. Skinny this up, fat on that one. Okay, so this side is the head, right? So it's going to taper fat to skinny. So we'll get that going. We'll start going fat to skinny. All right, guys, so I stopped. I'm to here. This is where I'm at. I've got all the tentacles stretched out and the head shape. So I'll have Mary come in a little bit. I'm really happy with how this one's turning out as far as doing the head shape like the skull. You can see already this is the same size bar, half by half, but you can see how I folded it over like we did, and it is making a very cool looking top, which is going to be great. And I have some ideas already. Every time I build one, you're always going to be changing. I have a whole nother project designed off of this already from building this one, which is going to be fun. But I already know where I want my eyeballs is right here. I already knew that. But I know that I can fuller up here above that to make a real heavy eye ridge, like an eyebrow ridge. but I'm going to put the eyes right in it, but I'm going to fuller like this, round, right up here at an angle. And then I'll have this bulb with the fuller mark like this, and I have my eyeballs right there. But I've got the tentacles stretched out. A lot of them are tapered, but most of them are just kind of drawn out. If you saw me running that little power hammer, that thing will make your life way easier. Okay? I did burn the living crap out of myself. Just my hands aren't what they used to be. I don't feel the heat very well. Just probably from welding since I was 10. I got going, got doing it, and then realized I had burnt the living crap out of myself. So it happens. But I'm very happy with how this is. Notice some of the things I did do. The tentacle that we talked about that I want to be able to make this hook right here. I've already picked it. I know that this is the back, right? This would be my front. So I've stretched this one. It's at least an inch. It's more than an inch longer than all my other ones. Knowing that I'm going to take this one, and in my mind, I want to be able to wrap this, start a curl here, go underneath this bulb, come around and make my top hook to hang. So kind of like I did that one, but I'll have more. I want to be able to, I guess, exaggerate it a little bit more. Now there's some tricks to this. You're gonna do a lot of shaping. You're gonna do a lot of fiddling. You're gonna do a lot of heating and coming over and running out of heat because these are all thin. This is a pain in the butt, but this is what kind of makes it. As long as your shapes are all right. Bill Epps is one of my favorite blacksmiths. I believe he passed away now, but he always says that if your mind's eye sees it as what it is, then you got it. A four tentacled octopus still looks like an octopus. If a little kid looks at it and goes, oh, octopus, then you got it. You got it. Your shape's good. Your image is right. So there's some things we can do now as we're building this. Some other things. This bulb is going to work very good for building these eyes and working on this head, because you always got to think about your steps. Sometimes you'll get into it and you can't come back. I'll be able to clamp this in the vise this way or this way and be able to drive my punches in and really shape those eyes how I want, because I want them to be kind of a focal point for the top. You know, it needs a good set of eyes. Octopus has these bug eyes. They're ugly. They're cat eyes. I'm going to do some wild things with these to see if I can get them to look pretty crazy. So that actually is going to help to be able to hold that in the vise, drive my eye punch in, get that fullered around so that it's an eye ridge. Okay, we already know these legs are going to meet up in between these ones, right? They're going to meet up in there. Eventually, they're going to be in there. So you can put this one aside for a minute. And this one, we can do our shaping. We can heat these up. We're going to clamp that in the vise. If you want to spread this base or do something a little different, now is the time. Remember I told you this is where we're going to put the magic in it. We're going to put the imagination, make this thing come to life, look like it's moving, whatever we can do. So I know that I can move these all over. I can twist the two together, as long as when I come up to here, I put them all at the same height. If they're all very similar in height, ending up here, so I might have to tap some of them down, whatever, then I know that this is going to slide down and it's going to match up before I even, especially before I weld it or do anything. So know that, and then play with these tentacles. Get your shapes. Make this one, instead of it just coming right up to where it's going, push it all the way through here, have it curl back and then come up. You know, this one in here is that way, but you'd have to look at it that this one right, it's hard to tell. This one right here is the back, But actually, if you look, it goes through and comes out, and it is this one over here, right in the middle. So the middle tentacle under his face goes all the way down, goes around, and it turns into one of these back tentacles. So that's kind of cool, because you can't do that as this block is concerned unless it's apart. So when it's apart, play with it. These curls and things, I have all kinds of, like I kind of know where I want some of these to go, just from doing a couple of these now, that I know my handle is going to be about like that. So I have this length. I have a whole bunch of places I can curl. I can take this one and wrap this one around it, and then come down, and I can take another one and then go in between that cage. So I can go like in here. I'll have enough, and I can come back out and make a little curl, and maybe even hide a little bit of this block where all these legs are connected. I didn't thin this out a whole bunch, like you wanted to go thin to fat, remember? To taper and reverse. I left some meat on these on purpose. I want them to still be strong. So think about stuff like that when you're forging it. Because this one, so now I'll shut up and get back to work. The head turned out awesome. I'm really happy with that shape. I think it's gonna, in the finished product, we'll keep going, and I think that's gonna give us all the mass we need, and it's gonna be an ugly old octopus head. So remember, these four can stay the same height, and really play around with all these, bump these down, get them the same height, get them fairly straight. They don't need to be, if they're all off, that's fine. The octopus doesn't just sit there stiff as a board. He's leaned, he's twisted. You can give a wave to this. As long as these four end up somewhere where they can come and we can get these hooked back together. So now is the fiddling part. Yes, you can spend a lot of time fiddling. I probably will. We'll show some of it and we'll show the end result. But I'm sure I will be sitting here for a while with my scrolling tongues, bending and fiddling and getting it where my mind's eye likes it and it looks like it's alive. But really cool. That's our pieces. Those are our tentacles. This is our bottom bar. Just so you guys, you can see, you know, that's the same. We're there. I made these ones longer. It's going to be different. These have a lot more playing in these tentacles. We got a whole bunch more twists and things we can do. Could be a nightmare because I'm going to be fiddling all the time with it, but you can just cut all four of these. You could fan them out. You could grind them smooth. You could bend them over, weld it, and have a real blocky looking octopus. It would still be awesome. It would still be an octopus. Like I said, the process, this is the process. This piece, the legs, putting it together. Once you know the process, you do as much as you want. You could take each one of these, spread it out, and do all the little dots on it. The little octopus that I have has all the little suction cup marks. I think I took a chipping hammer, and I just went ding, 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 all the way up on one side, so that if you look at it, it has little suction cup marks. You can do as much as you want. I'm just going to show you the process, and you guys get to watch as I fiddle around and build this one. So we'll get back to this one. We'll try not to burn ourselves anymore. And I'm going to start by moving these around, shuffling them back, and then making sure all these are fairly in line enough that they'll slide together. And then I'll make sure these legs are moved out a little bit. And then we can do the face, or we can stick it together. The face can be done while the legs are in there. And we'll go from there. So let's heat this up. Let's get back to work. See what I mean? You're trying to get your curls, but try and get all these to the same height. Okay, so what I've done, guys, I got it, some of it to how I wanted it. I've kept the top close together so I know it's going to fit. I spread the legs of the top one out a little bit, just getting an idea of where I want it, which one I want to sit, kind of do some adjustments and get this thing to sit on there. And then, because once you put the other with the top on, now you're back to fiddling again. Heating up, bending these tentacles in and out. But I'm fairly happy with what we got so far. And so we'll get that to fit in there better. I'll actually get this welded. And then we'll keep heating and playing with these tentacles and getting them right. It's pretty fun though. It's kind of a fun deal. Just take your time with it. Take some time. So you can weld this with, I'm going to use a wire feed. You could stick weld it. You could TIG weld it. You could get your torch out and a coat hanger and weld it. Whatever you have. Weld that thing together. Okay guys, so we're getting closer. I got the two pieces welded together and cleaned up with a grinder. I'm still going to go in here with a file and do that, but as the way it is right now, I can leave it and get these legs, the rest of the legs bent, the other four, but it's attached. It's already showing some style. We're going to change it a little bit because I'm going to be twisting and tweaking a little and get these legs to go in there and have it be a handle. And then this one, remember, is the one that is going to curl all the way around and then come up around the head. So this long one will be the hanging one. But I'm going to leave it because I'm actually going to get these other ones and I'm going to leave this one for last, because I still need to finish the face. So I'm still got some shaping, but now that it's attached, I can finish shaping that head. You know, I still have that room. But the last thing I'll do on this is set this hook leg. But I'm going to heat it up, get these three legs positioned, kind of tweak it a little bit. And then I'll get this leg, I'll just kind of keep it out of the way. And then that will allow me to finish. Then we'll go to the face. And then we might draw this out, but I'll probably just end the video there once we get the face done. And we might add on this, we'll see where I'm at. It's a long video, but I wanted to show you the whole process. So you don't have, I mean, if you have questions, ask. But I'm trying to show you everything about it. So if you want to do it, you're very capable of following all this and doing it, because it's pretty fun. It's a fun project. It's neat. So, all right, we'll heat it up. We'll bend the legs some more. All right, guys, so we started with these. We made our cuts, got all of our bars, right? And this is the end result of the one from today. It has a lot longer tentacles. It's fairly, what's the word, whimsical? I don't know, it has a lot of twists. Makes a neat handle. There's some things I like, some things I don't like, just like when you build anything. Some things I would change, I'll change on the next one. It definitely is what it is. It looks the part. It is an octopus. It looks like an octopus. Has 8 legs, the 2 pieces. As long as I made it, I could have shortened it. It makes an interesting handle. It does work. It's pretty comfortable with all these little grooves. You can find a little notch. I did burn the living crap out of myself, but that's just part of it. Things are getting worse, but there it is. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you follow along and like it. This is our other one, just to give you an idea of the 2 of them. Just a little different, a little longer, the different heads. I got the changes that I wanted. You just got to keep making some more. I do like it. I think it's cool. It's kind of crazy looking. They both are. They'll make a neat set. All I got to do now is I'll do the same thing I did to this one. Even though they're very different, it's still pretty much a matching set. If I make a ladle, if I make a whatever, a big turning hook, not sure yet, but that is the process on how I make an octopus handle. So, like I said, hope you like it, hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, let me know what you think, and if you have ideas. But if you have any questions, please ask. If you build one, please send me a picture of it to our email. It's a lot of fun, guys. It's tricky. Some of it is very, very tricky and hard to kind of get it right. Like I said, you can play forever on these tentacles, even this top hook. That's why there's not a lot of video of the top hook. It took my wife and I both. You almost need somebody to hold it from moving while you're bending. And I like the way it came out, but there's still some things it's kind of weird, but I do like it. I think the more I look at it, the more all these twists. We got a full curl right here in this one like I wanted. So that one has the full curl. These are twisted. They go in between each other. There's one down here on the bottom. I guess it kind of pulled out a little bit when I squeezed it. This one was laying right in the bottom, but it still looks good. It just has a lot of movement. And it's together. So, all right, guys, on to the next one. We'll let you go. This is a long video. It's a long process. It takes quite a bit to get it, but you can do it. Turn your imagination on. Put some magic in that metal. Do something different and have fun. So we'll see you guys later. Till the next one, let's go.